This time on the Iron Empire, we extract the running gear out of a KE70 Corolla to power the UC Torana. Okay guys, so in this episode we're going to be talking about Andrea's UC Torana. A lot of people have been asking me on the channel in the comments of what engine we're going to be running in this car, and I've been keeping you all waiting. So we're finally going to chat about what car we're going to be rating to get the powerhouse into this UC. So this is going to be Andy's car. She's going to keep forever. She's had it forever. We want something reliable. It's not going to let her down. She can jump in anytime and go. What's more reliable than a Toyota? Now I know what you're thinking, why would I want to wreck this pristine version of the KE70 Toyota? But there's for good reason. Check it out. She's packing a healthy little 253 Holden V8. Okay, so we picked this thing up a couple of years ago when the Torana project first began. It was obviously already running this 253 Trimatic, locked up rear end, and this thing was built to do burnouts. The reason we went this way is because for a couple of grand we got a car with an engine that we could run and drive, test it out, knew everything was all sweet, rather than just buying bits and pieces that we're going to potentially have to rebuild. This sort of thing always fires, runs, idles, sweet, it goes strong, and yeah, I think it's going to make the perfect motor swap for that UC Torana. Alright, so we're going to fire this thing up. I fired it up only probably a month ago, but this thing tends to sit for months at a time. With a bit of fresh fuel in the bowls. It usually fires up and idle, so hopefully don't make a lie on me this time. That shouldn't need any throttle or anything, I don't reckon. Yeah, it's always nice. Fires up, idles. One last little strap in the paddock before we pull the motor out. Flat tyres and all. Sounding good?
It does sound good. Next stop, Torana bound. Alright, so we have got, I'd say, quite a few hours of unbolting, undoing and cutting this motor out. So we're going to fast forward a little bit. Bit of movie magic, we'll be getting this thing out in no time.
painful. It's out. We're going to put this to much better use. It's time for some lunch. Now Andrew's spent freaking hours, probably 6 or more, maybe even 8 hours, cleaning this up. We've stripped it all down. We cannot get it any cleaner. It is clean as a whistle. The transmission and everything is all going to stay on the motor. It does look nice and clean inside. All the gear looks really good. And the outside, super oily. There was silicone everywhere. Someone went to town with a silicone gun on this. We've cleaned it up all really good, and we're going to mask it all up, and we're going to get it in primer. We're going to use an epoxy resin, some people may know it as Epitech. This is the right way to paint a motor. That is straight over bare metal. You let it go rock hard over a few days, and then it's ready for a 2-pack color. So we're just going to go ahead, mask this up now, get some primer on it, and then we'll play the weighting down. Later in the week we get some color on it. What do we do here? We got to mask some things. Alright guys, so we now have the little 253 up at my place with the Torana for the first time, ready to go in. Now you'll see I started assembling a little bit, couldn't help myself. These rocker covers we got off Jake, off of his Sandman. Andrea seen these, loved them, so she wanted to have those. So I've got one of those in place so we can see what it looks like. The other one is outside drying, it's getting a quick coat of paint. And yeah, you'll see this motor is actually pretty impressed with how clean this motor is inside. So aside from a little bit of overspray that I've got, all the rocker gear and everything inside is like super clean. So someone who has built this motor has actually done somewhat of a reasonable job on it, and it's been relatively maintained considering how bad it looked in that car. So really happy with that. Now, I'm also super happy with the finish of the 2-pack. Absolutely wrapped with how it turned out. Some things we painted straight over because we were replacing them anyway. Oil filter, plugs, front pulleys getting painted black. You will notice that the front assembly I painted it all red because I like it better that way. Holden tended to leave all their bolt-ons all in alloy, raw, and I don't like it. I think all painted looks way better, so that's the way we've gone with this motor. It's just a bit of a sort of a spin on the factory look. So yeah, we're going to set up, get all the parts laid out on a table here so we can start piecing this all together and see how it comes up. I really hope that we can get this motor sitting in place before the end of the day. Alright guys, so we are now ready to rock and roll with this motor. I think the sump is now in place, everything is all ready to go. We've got the car all sheeted up, ready to roll, and we've laid out a bunch of parts. Spent like $2,000 in the last couple of days getting everything to get the job done. A couple that I'm really excited about is, first of all, we've got a set of brand new pacemakers. Mike and the team down there went above and beyond to make sure that we got the right pipes for the right job. So really excited about getting those in the car. We were going to ceramic coat them, but we're pressing time, so we're going to get them in with their signature blue paint, and down the track if we need to we can ceramic coat them.
Yeah, so another thing I'm super excited about is Tuff Mounts. Jace down there at Tuff Mounts hooked us up with a set of standard replacement mounts. I was going to do a bit of an unboxing, but I couldn't wait. I wanted to have a look at this stuff, and it is such good quality. So as you can see, these are standard replacement mounts, all powder coated. As you can see, these are super heavy duty and they literally cannot break. So even if the rubber was to fail, the mount can't let go because it's captive. So they're good quality. Another thing that Jace done for me is this is getting a Trimatic. A Trimatic to go in a Torana was not a cross member that they had on the shelf, but with a few calculations, Jace worked out that it was just a matter of moving this bar on one of the jigs that he already owns. So now you can get cross members for V8 into a Torana and obviously a bunch of other model cars, but Trimatic, Turbo 400, Turbo 350, so many options. We didn't have a transmission cross member for this car because the motor was pinched for another car. So rather than digging around trying to get an original one, we thought we'd go Tuff Mounts. So Jason down there sorted that out for us, had it powder coated, and it was ready to pick up the next day. Absolute amazing service. And the best thing about both of these, I cannot stress enough how proud of these companies I am, because these are not only Australian, these are Adelaide. Both Adelaide brands putting out world-class products. So definitely support local. Pacemaker have been around forever, and Tuff Mounts obviously making its way now for some of the best mounts available. So Aussie proud, support the locals, and enough talking, let's get this bloody motor in this car. Can't wait. Here it is, guys. We now have this little 253 sitting in place. Lots to learn. Lots to learn that I cannot put a motor and transmission in a Torana in one piece without dropping the cross member. I didn't know this. I was trying to avoid doing a bench press of an automatic transmission on the floor because I don't have my hoist set up yet. Doing it in one hit didn't go to plan. It took hours. We didn't record any of that because it was painful. I've been playing around this morning to get these extractors in, thanks to Pacemaker, and they were so much easier. This side I just about threw in. This side was a little bit trickier, but all it took was a jack the motor up a couple of inches and a little bit of a wiggle here and there, and we got that side in as well. So just clears all the steering, and yeah, perfect. But now I'm just going to go on with some boring stuff, just trying to make some progress on this thing. I've got to drop in a brand new distributor from Aeroflow. I need to make up some leads, go through some wiring, find all the ignition wiring, get it all plugged in, and hopefully get this thing running soon. Very unlikely to be today, but any progress is good progress. Okay, so I finally have everything I think that I need to get this thing running. At the moment, I've just got everything in place so I can kick it over and hopefully get this thing to fire, or at least turnover would be a good start. So I've got it all hot wired because I haven't set the neutral safety switch just yet, but I'm gonna try and fire this thing right now. Fingers crossed this happens. I'd love to get this fired up before the end of this video. Doesn't sound like I've got a spark. Volts. We got a spark. going to spark. It's just not at the right time. My guess is that this is 180 out. Alright, we're going to try this all again. I've had the distributor in and out a few times. There was clearance issues. I had to machine the side of the distributor down where it hit the manifold, but now we should have enough movement to get the timing right. We're going to try and fire this thing up again. Fuel. Timing. Go. Come on. Woo! Finally! Alright, it runs. That's enough. I'm not going to risk any more. There is so much I need to do to this thing to get everything right, but it fired. You'll have to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to keep up to date with the Torana build. Oh man, what a relief. This has been fighting me all day. Distributors, I hate them. Anyway, jump onto the online store if you want to support the channel. We have plenty of new hats in stock. We have now black with white. We have black on black. We have black on grey. And what everyone asked about, we have more white on camo. So go check out the online store. Support the channel. I'm pumped. I'll see you next time on the Iron Empire. Cheers, guys.